Okay, so I'm stupid, and I've been talking to myself on the screen for like a solid 3 minutes. Sorry guys, I was like cussing you guys trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Anyways, let me stop staring off into space real quick and check the chat. There we go. Boom. What is up, guys? If you're joining me and you don't know what's going on, we're going to be editing. Let me see. I flipped. I thought I mirrored the screen. Okay, we're going to be editing video all over here. That's awesome. No, I didn't mirror it. Okay, let me mirror this screen right here, and I will be back. We right-click on it, transform, flip horizontal. Boom! There we go. So now my right is my right, my left is my left. What's going on, guys? So we're going to be editing some videos. Check it out. There's some stuff up here. There's stuff over here, and there's video up here. Let me see what's going on real quick, because you can't see this, which is kind of weird, actually. Yeah, my hands are gonna be like go off the screen because my screen's only like this big, and I got a green screen. So I mean, it's the best I can do. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear my audio. That would be great. How's the microphone sound? How does the music playing in the background sound? Let me know how that stuff is. And yeah, y'all refresh the screen. Yeah, I'm not sure what the hum is. I do have an air conditioner in the other room, and that's probably contributing to that, and I can't really do anything about that. The microphone picks up. Let me kind of move it a little bit. And you're going to be hearing probably the fans on my laptop as well, so I'll just kind of move that back here a little bit, and hopefully that'll be a little bit better. No music in the background, so that's no big deal, honestly. We don't need the music. I could turn it up, but we're going to be listening to audio on the Premiere Pro. So help me out, guys, because I've never done this before. Obviously, this screen right here should be showing an image. I can see an image, but I'm not seeing it on OBS. So now I'm a little concerned about that. Like, a little bit concerned about that, because you guys need to be able to see what's going on here. You can see all this, and then this is not working. Oh no, that is not good. What up, Brady? What up, Blue? I've got an issue. I got a serious issue right now, because for some reason this screen up here is not showing you guys. I can see screen, and everybody else sees a gray box, and that is not good. That is not a good thing. We're gonna try and overcome it. Like if I do this, let me see if you can see it. No. Okay, okay, I know how to fix this. If I can't fix it, we're still gonna go forward with it. We're just gonna do some tips and tricks and stuff. But let me try something real quick. Let me try something. Let's do a window capture. Call it okay. Why is it doing that? I don't want to do a window. I want to do this. We're going to figure this out. It won't take long. I need to add display capture. There we go. We're going to do a display capture instead. We're going to display this, put this under the webcam, kill that, and now you guys should be able to see what's going on. Okay, cool. It's not a codec thing with what it is, and so let me introduce what's going on to anybody that may be watching now and anybody that may be watching a little bit later on. So we're going to be going through some video editing techniques. You don't necessarily have to have Adobe Premiere Pro to do any of this. I'm going to try and keep it as not as basic or simple as possible, but as generic as possible, so that you don't need to have this program or anything. It helps. There are some great things about it. And I don't know everything about this program, but I'm going to go over any questions you guys may have. That being said, we're going to be going through a video that I'm editing that's going to come out soon. That's actually the part 2 or 3, if you count the little montage I made of my New Orleans trip with the drip. So if you guys don't want any spoilers, bye. I'll see you guys later. Don't leave. Please don't leave. And so yeah, we're going to be going through that. We're not going to finish the video. I've already got about 2 minutes of it done. and there's still a lot of tweaking that needs to be done, so you're gonna learn a little bit of what I do and why I do that. The reason this screen wasn't showing up is because in Premiere Pro you have the opportunity to take this screen right here and you can blow it up and you can show it on a separate monitor. So since I have another monitor plugged in, it thought that that screen was up here and it was showing up here, which is really useful, but not for what I'm doing here. So instead, I did a workaround. You guys don't need to know all about that. So we are going to be giving away some motors. Check it out. If you guys don't know about the motor giveaway, I'm going to show you what's up real quick. Let me do this because it's going to be hilarious. Alright, there we go. Yeah, here's my Ladrib fan art right here, somewheres. There we go, love it. And I'm going to show you guys the motors that you guys are going to win. Let me add that image real quick before we get started. Never done live streams. I did a live stream like once, and it wasn't very good. This one's not going to be great either, but at least it's going to be on topic. It's going to be on point. So these are the motors you're going to win here. Check them out. Awesome, right? Cool, right? And let's get straight into business. Now here's what the window's going to look like when I'm editing some stuff real close. You know what, actually, let's see, now it's, there we go, now it's showing my mouse. Alright, you're going to be able to see this, and you're going to be able to see this. Okay, awesome. Let me check the chat, see if you guys have any questions. So before I get started and just start editing without telling you guys what I'm doing, do you guys have any questions right off the bat about any videos I've ever done, any tricks, any tips in Premiere Pro, anything that I can show you right quick before I get started? Maybe how I start my workflow. I'm going to go through and show you how to start my workflow, and then how I can organize my clips, and how I make cuts, why I make cuts in specific areas and things like that. I don't know what to do with the audio. Let me see real quick. Alright, I turned the gain down a little bit. I'm hoping that helps. There's not much I can do about the audio. It may be the microphone, and it may be the air conditioner in the next room. It is hot down here in South Louisiana, and the air conditioner just stays nonstop. So, so that worked okay. And if you guys can hear me, well, that's awesome. So, you guys have any questions? Let me know what's going on, and definitely hit the like button for sure. Let's see. What up, FPV Authority? If you guys don't know what the FPV Authority is yet, that's my fault, because I haven't been a good advocate for the FPV Authority. We have a couple advocates. We have the FPV Authority in the group, and we also have a few pilots from there as well. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later on. So if you guys don't have any questions, I'm just going to go through and get started. So this is my window, and it is the assembly area. I can click the assembly area, and when I get one started, I pretty much press this button down here. It starts a new bin, and I make a shit ton of bins. So you know what? There we go. Okay, I make a shit ton of bins up here, and that is what I do. So what you want to do is make a bin for frickin' everything. Organize the shit out of your video clips if you're going to be making large videos. If you guys are just interested in making some flight videos, maybe you want to organize your clips and make them to where it's like, you know, smooth flights, and then different kind of, like, if you have to, when you shoot your videos, here's the thing, when you're shooting your videos, you shoot to edit. You don't edit the shoot. And what I mean by that is, when you take your camera and you go out to shoot, either it's this camera or if it's a GoPro, you need to understand what you're trying to do, that you're shooting a video in the first place. So if you get certain shots or certain tricks or certain transitions that you want to do, if you like how certain pilots will go up and they'll do a trick, I don't have a drone, but they'll go up and do a trick and they'll spin, and during that spin it'll transition to another trick of the same orientation and the same spin. Do that. Don't go out and just do some flippy floppy and get home and expect to make a great video and you don't have all the shots you need. What that's called is coverage. Coverage is something that covers something, so like a blanket. You blanket the edit with all the shots that you take. So I take a shit ton of shots. This right here is a very, very, very small project. I've only got 13 clips here. I got 16 here and 27 here. This is my B-roll, and sometimes I'll even break up my B-roll between slow-mo and not slow-mo. But that is a whole other thing. I'm not going to bore you guys with organization and everything. I just want to let you guys know it's very, very important if you guys are interested in making any kind of large-scale video, any high-quality video, anything like that. Organization is key, because you will get frustrated and you won't finish, or it just won't be up to par. So let us get into what I have here on the timeline, and I'm going to show you guys what's up. This is an adjustment layer, and what an adjustment layer is something that it's like a clear layer, it's see-through, and you put that over any of your footage. So if I scroll down here, this is my footage of me talking. I'm going to put in my magic trick in here, so I'm going to do that, and let's turn my audio on. You should be able to hear that. Okay, so let me know if you guys heard the audio from Premiere Pro, because that's key during this edit. You guys are going to have to hear the little nuances and little things that I'm doing. And I want to show you guys a close-up real quick of what's going on. So if you look here, I've got this clip is my video clip, this is my video audio of me talking. And layering your audio clips is very, very key to high-quality edits and high-quality video. Everything that I'm going to tell you guys isn't necessarily how to make a visually stunning edit, or something that's jarring. What my editing style is, and what most good edits are, is something that's very underlying, very low-key, where everything works in conjunction. You don't really notice what's going on. See, the thing is, if your viewer has to watch and pay attention to your video and think about the transitions and think about what's going on, it's not a good video. They have to think about it. What they want to be, they want to sit back and they want to just enjoy the ride. So with your audio, making sure that there's no pops right here in the very beginning of your audio. Sometimes if you put a clip in here, it'll pop, they go, a little audio pop. And what I'll do is a lot of times I'll come up, I'll go to my effects here, and pretty much every single audio clip that I put in, even if I just transition between two clips of me talking, I'm going to go to effects, I'm going to go to audio transitions, crossfades, exponential fade, and I'll stick it right at the beginning. You don't want this much, so I'll zoom in, I'll hold Alt, and I'll use the scroll wheel, and then I drag this all the way to the beginning to as small as it gets, super small. It's 1 frame, that's like a millisecond, but it reduces the pop at the very beginning of that clip. You can't cut it out, so you can't come over here and just like use the cutting tool and delete that. It's still going to pop right here. I'm not a mad scientist as far as editing goes, so I'm not sure why that is, and it's only on some clips. It's just something to take note of, and it's very, very picky, but that's the level that I'm at right now with my edits. My audio was quiet. I had to turn the gain down a little bit because people were having some issues. Let me turn it up in here. Bear with me for a second. I'm gonna turn up my microphone audio, hopefully. Yeah. All right, guys, how is that? That should be a little bit better, and then I'll put this kind of in front of me right there. Hopefully that sounds a little bit better. Let me know what's up with the audio. So, so far I've talked about transitioning your audio clips together. And they don't necessarily have to always do this, but 9 times out of 10, I will always take my audio clip and either put it under or over another audio clip and then fade it in. But the thing is, too, is do it to the beat. So just for instance, audio when the audio is not at the center line of the cut. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot. But I don't know, like I haven't been able to force this thing out. I just want decent sounding audio, damn it. Alright, so I'm gonna play this clip real quick. Hopefully you guys can hear it. Alright, so if you guys could hear the music and the voices to this clip, let me know what's up with that. Hopefully that worked out great. And I'm going to explain to you everything that I did in this short section, why I did it, and how I did it. This one's really easy. This one's super easy. So let me know if you could hear the audio from Premiere Pro. I want to know that because that is very important, and I don't know. So you can't hear that audio. Let me turn this up. Alright. It's very important that you hear the audio from Premiere Pro. Alright, so let's go to desktop audio. Thanks, Vortex. Alright, so I'm noticing that OBS is saying that you can't hear the desktop audio. Anybody that's used OBS or used live streams or anything, let me know if there's a reason that my desktop audio is not working. Let me make a new mix. Actually, I'm going to add an audio source, audio input capture, no, audio output capture, yes. I'm going to use my headphones, okay. Let's see if this works. Bear with me for a second, this might be loud. Yeah? What do you think? Yeah? What do you think? Audio output captures. This seems to be... What's up, man? What's going on, man? How is the loudness of that clip? Is it too loud? How is the relation between that audio and my voice? Is that a good relation? Hopefully it is. Next time I do this, I will get a better microphone. This one is obviously a piece of shit, I'm sorry. So, if that worked out, it looks like it's working, awesome. Maybe kill the I can't kill the green screen. That's just because, or I don't know, you're gonna lose your voice. You're gonna lose my voice if I'm playing the clip, but you're way louder than me. That's okay. I'm not going to be talking over the clip while I'm playing it. Alright, so let's show you what's going on. This is right down here. Let me zoom in to Premiere Close-Up. This is my song. So I actually got this song. This is another 2 Feet song. It's it's actually like an instrumental that they made that I found, and I really love it. 2 Feet does not have enough songs out to really support me through this endeavor, so I'm really sad I'm going to have to find more songs. So here's the build-up. I always like to have my build-up right before a clip. And if you can see right here, you can't see right here because, there we go. If you can see right here, there's a build-up visually, there's a build-up audibly as well. So something's coming at you and the audio is building up to boom. Now, as soon as this bass hits, and it's not a bass drop, but it is definitely a change, it's very jarring. I want something visually jarring in front of you. So that's going to be this. I'm pointing at something which I really like recently. It's kind of my style. I like to point and show slow motion things. I got that from one of my montages in my last video, and it really it's like the feels, right? So visually jarring, you got the lens flare, you got the sun in your eyes, you got the transition of the bars on top. Lot of things going on visually as soon as that audio hits you. 6. Yeah? What do you think? I turned the audio down on the computer as well. So now another thing that I want to talk about, now that I got that out of the way, there's still a lot of science behind it, and you'll never get it right. Like, I never get it perfectly right, and this clip right here I may change. I may not like this clip, this one. You know, that's the one of me pointing at the bridge. And I may go into my assembly area and find something else that's a little more jarring, a little more attention-catching than this one. All I'm trying to do is tell a story. So, for now, I like that. And what I want to do is I want to go and make sure, I just did something. Look at the end of this clip. It's a little bit longer than that one. I moved something around. I'm going to Control-Z a couple times. Everything looks okay. Let's check the timing. right here, this is obvious because you have a guitar tune going dun 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 dun. Now, okay, I can still turn it down a little bit, but you have a guitar tune going, and it's very obvious that you want to clip song, cut clips to the music. Always cut clips to the music, and a good way that I do that is I'll Alt and zoom in on the music timeline, and then zoom way the hell in on here, and then if I click here, I can use my keystrokes to move the frames. And I like, if you can't get it right on the audio, I'll go one frame before, which is where this is at right now. And then each one, boom, see it's one frame before the audio. This one happened to land right on it, and then this one's right on it. So the idea of cutting music to, or cutting clips to music is you have to sacrifice your clips. And like, this is a cool clip, this is a cool clip, this is a cool clip, but you're only gonna see like 1 second or 2 seconds of it, and you have to be okay with that being enough. You may have like had a really cool shot that you got with your camera and it was like 15 seconds long, and in the final edit you may use a split second of it in the whole entirety of the thing. You have to be okay with that, because it's all about telling a story and jarring and making your audience feel something when they're watching it. And if your audience watches a 15-second clip of me getting out of a car, which is right here, if I take this out and I make it longer, that wasn't too bad. But if I make it a little longer, it's like, okay, he's getting out of the car. We know he's getting out of the car. Who cares, right? So if I cut it, boom, cut it down. Now I pressed C on my keyboard. That brought up the cut tool. I move this where I want to cut it. As long as I have my magnet tool on right here, then I can just cut it and then press V as in Victor, and then click on the clip and then press delete. So now that I've decided that I want to cut to the guitar, I picked which clips I want. What I also do is if I go into my B-roll and I want to use the clip of me getting out of the car, which is going to be, it doesn't really matter, we're going to use this one right here. Like here's me poking Drew in the face. I double click on the assembly area, and then I double click on which clip I want to look at. I'm previewing the clip, and I kind of scrub it, I go through it, and I like it here. I press I on the keyboard, I go to where I want it done, I press O on the keyboard, that's out, and I drag just the video, which is here, instead of the audio only. Or if you click here, it'll drag both, but I don't need audio and video because that's a slow motion clip. And it was actually not supposed to be a slow motion clip because I'm stupid and I always shoot slow-mo and I forget. So this video is pretty much ruined, which is why I'm trying to fix it, because most of the clips were shot in slow motion and I don't have any audio to fix it with. So this clip right here is super long. You can see this right here, and it's taking up a lot of space. I don't want that. So what I'll do is I'll zoom out, make sure that it's not going to overlap anything else. And there it is right there. Now, I don't need this much, but what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up speeding the clip up, which is going to shorten all of that right there, and it's going to end up looking like one of these right here. I've already done that a little bit later on, and I'll show you that. So let's scrub through this one more time. You can look at this, and I'm going to let you guys watch what I did for the past, it's probably about 20 seconds, and then I'm going to answer some questions that you guys may have about that. Let's double click on this, make that bigger. The Hero 6. Yeah? What do you think? Today's just getting started because this is part 2. Okay, so I'm not sure how the audio sounds for you guys, if it's loud enough. I know I had to turn it down a little bit, but one thing that I did do is if you look right here, this is the audio of us at the restaurant, and you can hear the background audio of the restaurant fading in as the music is fading out, and that's really important. And what I did, instead of using a fade effect from up here, I clipped the song down here. This is actually part of the song too, but I clipped the song right where it was about to hit. So if I drag this out again, the beat hits right here. But I clipped it before that, and I just left it. This is another background song, but I have that muted as well, so I don't need to hear that right now. Let me check out the chat, because I've been kind of like not paying attention to you guys. So what'd you guys think about the clips and the transitions and everything? And I will answer some questions that you guys might have. While you guys are thinking about the questions, I'm going to show you something real quick as well. Let me show you this clip right here. So, I'll show you why I like to color grade my stuff. What's going on, Timothy? Yeah, for sure, it's going to take forever to edit. So here is a clip that I got of just driving down the road. I just grabbed the camera and I just shot it out the window. It was supposed to be slow-mo and it wasn't. I'm such an amateur. So let me show you what it looks like with and without the color grade. This is without the color grade and without the cinema bars. It's not too bad, but if you have an eye for anything, or if you like to just watch movies or whatever, then you'll know that this clip right here just looks like any old clip somebody could take with their cell phone out of their vehicle, right? You know, it's shaky, it looks, it's whatever, right? It's just, it's not amazing. So what I ended up doing was I cut it down to just a few seconds. Okay, that's a whole other transition. I'm going to tell you about that here in a second. That's a whole thing. So how do I make this clip look better? So one thing, I add the cinema bars, and two, I add a color grade. So you can see what happens in the color grade. Let me move this a little bit bigger. There we go. So when I turn my color grade on and off in the cinema bars, you can automatically see, you should feel like this looks more cinematic, like it should be in like a TV show or something, which is the feeling that you should get from that. What do you think? And the reason for that is, on a color grade, I don't want to make this video too much about color grades, but color grading is a big deal as far as making your footage or your video look impressive. And the reason for that is, that's what people spend the most time on, usually during editing movies and TV shows and stuff. So with a color, if you look at this right here, you can see all the blacks right here and all the blacks in the steering wheel, the shadows under his fingers and everything. They're not super duper black. And what I do is I go to my colors up here, and I like to go to my basic correction, and you can see shadows right here. And I actually took them and I drug them up, so I brightened the shadows, and I actually lowered the highlights and the whites, and I raised the blacks as well. And what that does is it simulates high dynamic range, which you've heard about in your FPV cameras and things like that. And what that does is it simulates what we see visually with our own eyes if we walk outside the door. And that's why cinema quality videos and movies and stuff like that look so appealing, because it simulates what we see or what we think we see when we see real life. And what that is you can see that there's shadows. Sure, but if you take a camera and you take a picture, you take a video, those shadows lose a lot of data and a lot of detail. And if you have a nice camera, if you have, do a nice color grade, you gain that detail back in the shadows, and that's what you're seeing in all of my stuff. And it's very pleasing to the eye, and it's very settling to the soul when you watch it. You know what I mean? Like, you watch it and it doesn't bother you. I learned Premiere Pro by trial and error and a shit ton of YouTube videos, like a shit ton. Let me show you what's going on. Thanks, Riddy, for dropping by. Go fly. I'll see you later, man. Badass for getting your name on the couch, by the way. I saw that in the live stream last night. Badass, dude. That's freaking sweet. So let me show you this transition right here. The reason, I want to tell you about why I use this transition and what it is. If you guys can tell, it's pretty much the same clip of me driving past this building, but instead, when this pole goes by right here, it's another clip under it. And you can see this is the clip under it. What's going on, Joe? And you can see this is the clip above it. And the reason that I did this is very important, because I'm not showing off. I'm not like trying to get people to be like super impressed by like the fact that I can do it, because anybody can do it and it takes a really long time. The reason I'm doing it is because this specific video, I don't have enough footage for it. I don't have enough coverage, because by the end of the day, this is part 2 of the same day of the edit, and I didn't have enough. I was done recording stuff pretty much. So by the end of this, if you look back here, it's pretty much just me talking a little bit. We're walking down the street, we're doing some stuff, but it's not as interesting of a video as the first one or the montage that I made. So what I tried to do is try to dress it up a little bit. Immediately within the first 30 seconds, if you look right here, you've got a crazy thing that just grabs your attention, but not too much. You're still focused on what's going on in the background. That's Driv walking in slow motion, and it transitions to something else. a big part of my editing style and what you guys are going to learn is putting as much information into such a small portion of time as possible, to where it feels like the viewer is getting their time worth, getting valuable content, getting, you know, they sit down and they spend their time to watch it, they're getting something valuable. They're not getting something that, you know, is wasting their time. So if you're giving them as much information as possible and making it as easy to ingest as possible, that is the key. And that's what I've learned up till now. And that's not something that I've learned from YouTube video. That's just something I've learned from trial and error and my personal preference. So, you know, right here within the first less than a minute, right here, boom, less than a minute. If you zoom out, I've got a shit ton of cuts, all this stuff going on right here. This transition right here. We click on this, we're going to go to editing. We're going to go to this one here. We're going to go to mask path, and then you can see right here I actually have to draw out these lines. Now this one's a lot easier because it's just a straight line. And the other ones that I've done, you can see right here it's got a little angle, and by the end of it, boom, they're done. And you got to do that frame by frame. So let's move on, even like this right here. The reason I'm telling you, want to get as much information in front of the viewer as possible, and it doesn't matter if it's like a millisecond or half a second, right here. This is one pluck of the guitar. Done, done. As soon as that one pluck of that guitar hits, it's a silly face of me. It shows my my personality, what's going on at the time. And I'm telling a story. You're telling a story by editing your videos and by letting people watch it. And you don't always have to sit in front of the camera and explain what's going on with this face. You don't have to yell at the camera and go like, oh my God, something crazy is going on. As soon as that viewer sees that split second of your face, they know something crazy is going on, and they're excited and they're ready to see more. So let me show you that clip right there real quick. Yeah, so you know that we're having a good time with flying drones, and right here this is me flying crap. And so a lot of times what you want to do is, the reason I use this clip of me crashing, because it was way more interesting than me flying smoothly around this bridge, because of the fact that it lined up to the music. So if you look right here, this beat right here drops, that's when I hit the pillar. This beat right here drops, and that's pretty much, or I think the guitar hits about here, and that's when I hit the tree. Watch again. All of the flips around of me flying, like rolling around in the air trying to regain the quad, were pretty much timed to the guitar. And that's why I use that clip, because it's just a more interesting thing to watch visually. And you would normally not necessarily pick out a crash to put like front row instead of just some nice smooth footage. But it's not always about trying to show somebody how smooth you can fly. Everybody can fly smooth nowadays, guys. Everybody's making these flight videos of them putting their stuff up flying smooth, and nobody's actually paying attention to pleasing the viewer in a way that they don't know that they want to be pleased. That's why people like my stuff, because I'm trying to please you guys. I'm not trying to please myself. And that's a big issue. A lot of people tell me to make videos for myself and make what makes me happy. What makes me happy is making something that when somebody sits down in front of it, they watch it and they're like, wow, like they don't know what's going on because they're enjoying what they're seeing, but they really don't know all of the information about what they're seeing. And that's why I like to do what I do. I'm going to look at the chat because it's been a while since I've been up there and I've just been talking for a little while. Mr. I'm not even going to try to say your name. You were asking how much Premiere Pro is. I got the whole subscription to the cloud, and I got it on Black Friday sale for I think like $40 a month. A little high, but it's worth it. Thankfully, all of my Patreons are helping support all of that stuff. Actually, matter of fact, if you look up at OBS, I should have. There it is. There's my slideshow. All my Patreons are pretty much supporting me right now for paying for my video editing software, and really honestly just helping me going, because I wouldn't be able to keep paying for the software at this point. I'm not even lying. I really appreciate that, guys. Seriously. No, I'm not. It's not pre-recorded. I'm just bad at watching the chat and talking to you guys. So I'm not seeing any questions. If you guys have any questions, seriously, let me know. about what I'm doing. If you guys have any questions about anything I've done before, I'll show you what's going on in this video. Any tricks and things that I'm using. Oh, I want to show you right here. The reason I have this random picture of this guy right here is because I really, really like the look of this clip. It's going to look a little bit different on your screen than it does on my screen because that's just the way screens work and the way colors work. There's not much you can do about that. I'm probably going to start wearing like a red hat or a red headband because I like the way the red looks with the color grade. So if I look back here, I pretty much took this and made my footage look like that as much as possible. Soften the shadows, a little bit of blue in the shadows. I tried to pop some of this, it's like a desaturated, but also kind of pops the colors at the same time. It's really weird. Oh, camera question here. Let me take a second real quick and I'll answer some questions. And then we're going to get into some stuff. Let's turn this. There we go. Now I'm like trying to figure out what picture I want to use. There we go. So what can I use to edit with the shit PC? I started to edit with a few different softwares, and none of them really worked because even though here's the thing, a free editing software or something that will edit that you think that Premiere Pro you need to have a badass PC to edit with Premiere Pro. It's really not the case. Premiere Pro, the reason it's so expensive, the reason that it's such a great editing software is that it works better with your computer than other editing softwares. It is a great software. It has all the amazing tricks and effects and features that an editing software needs. But the reason I'm leaving this live stream up, guys. Don't worry about that. The reason that this is such a great software is that it works well with pretty much any computer, but if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, it's going to work better because it uses some computer science shit, and it pretty much just works better with NVIDIA graphics cards. But if you don't have at least an NVIDIA, like a 1050, any of the newer NVIDIA graphics cards, you're not really going to see a noticeable difference, and you really won't be able to edit anything very quickly. But if you can see here, this is the, I'll show you. If you look up right here, I can change the resolution of what you see up here. So if I click on this, I can go to full, and that's going to show full resolution, which is 2.7K. I don't want to do that because it's going to slow my computer down. But if you have a crappy computer or anything that's just not that great, honestly, there's not much I can say, man, because it's not going to be a very fun process. You can spend the money on Premiere Pro. It will get the job done. It will edit better than any of the free editors that are on the market right now. It'll run faster on your computer than any of the free editors on the market, but your computer's still going to struggle. You're still going to have issues, and what you're going to notice is when you're trying to go through your screen right here and you're trying to play this clip, if you play it, you won't be able to see in real time what's going on. It's going to look like this. It's going to go. That's what you're going to see when you're editing the video, and you can't edit a video like that. It's just not possible. I tried. So I can't really recommend any other editing softwares than Premiere Pro, or I can't speak for like Final Cut or Vegas or anything like that. But there are free ways to get these softwares, and I definitely do recommend it to at least try it. Obviously, it's probably not legal, but I did it, and I decided that I liked it, and I bought it because I was able to. A lot of people are wanting to know how I find music for my videos. Hard work. Lots of time, lots of hard work. I'm not even lying. I spend more time sometimes trying to find music than I do editing. Seriously, because the music makes the edit. Like, oh, I don't know. It's just a funny guy. I like watching this stuff. I'm gonna actually link his channel because his shit is on point, and you're gonna see a lot of my style in him because I'm like emulating this guy. Not yet, but I have some really cool videos that I want to shoot that are like his. I really love his stuff. I have not. I've heard of DaVinci Resolve, but I've never used it, and I know nothing about it. I don't even know what the program does. It looks so strange. It looks so complicated. To me, it honestly does. Tried a lot of close to free editing programs. They all ran like poo. Decent PC with a bullet. For Premiere Pro, zero regrets. Yay, works better. See, that's the thing. That Premiere Pro is going to work better on pretty much any PC than any other editing software, any free editing software, or cheap editing software, because it's optimized to work with your computer. It's just going to work better. So let's get into some stuff right here. Let's turn the webcam on. Let's turn this one off. I'm getting pretty good with this though. Biggest inspiration for FPV videos and editing. My biggest inspiration for FPV videos and editing, it's hard to say. You guys are not going to like this answer, and I'm serious. And I haven't told very many people this, but what's going on, Nurk, by the way? Nurk is one of my biggest inspirations as far as the drone industry and the drone hobby goes. And he pushes me, Wild Willie, Drew, they push me to make more interesting and better content and better edits, because I've watched their stuff and I've seen why people pay attention to them, and I try to take that. Any good creator, any good artist steals from other artists. I don't care what you think. It's a real thing. You can Google it, look it up on YouTube. There's plenty of people talking about it. Artists steal. You don't copy. You take their mojo and you make it your own, and that's pretty much what you do. The reason you like what you're watching now is because I take little bits from every other person that I like and I put it in there, and you don't know. So what you're not going to like is the fact that I do not watch very many FPV videos at all. I watch a lot of how-to edit videos, and I watch a lot of cinematic B-roll sequences, cinematic vlogs and things like that, because that's what inspires me. That's what I'm interested in. I am interested in drones, obviously. That's the videos that I'm making. But for me, the valuable content for me and the valuable content that I'm giving the viewers are coming from the cinematic vlog side of things, not necessarily coming from the FPV side of things, because I can't emulate going to freaking Las Vegas. I can't emulate that. I can't make interesting locations and things like that. My life just isn't that interesting. I don't have the money. I don't have the sponsorships or anything to do that with. So all I can do is take serious techniques and serious editing shots, and have a badass camera and take awesome shots with it and make something interesting for you guys to watch. And I can't take a lot of that inspiration from FPV content that's out right now. And like I said, you're not going to like that answer, but I will say that one of the first people I saw doing now this is the first person that I saw doing it, doesn't necessarily mean it's the first person that was doing it, but Wild Willie really started up in the B-roll game and some of his videos when he was at the racetrack doing the IndyCar stuff, and that shit got me hooked. Like, I wasn't into it, and I'll give him credit for it, I will, because when I saw one of those videos, I was like, that's what I want to do. Because you read the comments and people are going like, holy shit, how did he do that? Like, just so moved internally by what they saw on the screen, and that really inspired me to get out and get a good camera and make something, take 30 seconds to get a shot with a camera, edit it for a little while, and then blow people's minds. That's the ability that I want to have. I did not get a tripod like Ladrib said. It's like a $50 tripod, and I really am broke as hell, just because of life and family and stuff. But I had $100 saved from Patreon. I don't make $100 from Patreon, but I had $100 saved, and I just spent that on quad parts. I had to order some quad parts so that I can have some stuff, because I'm going to Fort Worth next week to meet up with the guys for Noobapalooza Part 2, meeting up with all the guys from the FPV NoobTube crew. And then in June, I'm going on a Midwest trip to like 5 different states. That's going to be some sick video, and I needed parts for that, so I can't afford a tripod. I'm sorry. What's going on, Ray Smith? How you doing? Let me look at the chat real quick. No, I don't. I want to clarify. I didn't get any inspiration from Mr. Steele. Not that I don't like the guy. Here's the thing, guys. And this kind of tips on the answer before. Like, I don't watch a lot of FP videos. I do not watch a lot of FPV videos. I'm serious, and it's no. I'm not. It's not personal. It's just right now I am in a zone and I am laser focused, and here's the thing, you hear advices from people saying surround yourself by people that are good and people that you want to emulate, people you want to be like. And yeah, it's like I want to be like all the cool FPV guys. I want to be like Nerk. I want to be like Willie. I want to be like Steel. I want to be like Drip. I want to be on Road to Ride. I want to hang out with all the guys. I want to have those opportunities and travel and fly. But I can't emulate what they're doing. Physically, I can't do it because I don't have the opportunities. So all I can emulate is other content creators that you guys don't see. So let's go through the list. I've probably seen about 2 Mr. Steel videos, and I'm not lying, guys. I've probably seen about 2 Mr. Steel videos. Out of all the content creators, I've probably seen more of Nerk's videos than all of them. I can't count. It's not like a crazy amount, but I've probably seen like 3 or 4 Ledrib videos, maybe 3 or 4 Wild Willie videos. It's just not a whole lot. Like I don't have time to stop what I'm doing and watch the videos because I'm just so laser focused. And it would be nice to take the time and do it, but right now I'm still in the climb phase. Look at the bar graph. Icky is still on his way up right now. Not in like the industry or in the hobby. I'm on my way up as far as my editing skills go, and I'm not about to sit here and stop. I don't want to do this thing. I want to do this. So me and time do not have a good relationship, and that's just, if you know me personally, you'll know that. So I don't take as much time as I should to appreciate other people in the hobby, and I really should. And I have been taking that recently to stop and do that. And it's nothing personal. I do want to hang out and fly with every single one of you, and that's not a lie. But I'd rather do it instead of watch it. That makes sense. Yeah, screw you, nerd. Flying to Beijing. And if I do have friends and stuff, I will play their videos, and I will watch them. And if I get sidetracked or something, I'll keep it running in the background. And if they have ads, I'll just let them go too. If anybody has ads, just let them roll, or click on them, but don't let Google hear you say that. I do have a PayPal. I have a few of them though because they're organized between my business. That's not really doing well right now, and then my personal one. A couple good YouTube channels right off the bat is going to be Mio, M-I-O. So that's this guy right here. But I take inspiration and I take tips and tricks from watching people's videos, and then I go back and I try and learn how to do it. Cinecom.net is a really good one. Anything by Peter McKinnon. I try not to copy his style a whole lot because that's the popular thing right now, but I like to learn from him a lot. So let's go through. Yeah, I'm not sure if we get paid. No, if you got like an ad block on it. No. I think if you have YouTube Red, we don't get paid. I'm not sure. Like, you have to visually see them, I believe. I really don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, let's go through, and we're going to do some real editing. I'm not just going to show you what I've done already. So, let's play this clip from the beginning, from the top. Here's another thing. Editing is not glamorous. It sucks. It is boring. If you're enjoying it, you're doing it wrong, okay? Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You like the outcome, you may like the shots and the footage, but no one likes sitting here in front of the computer for 8 hours, 10 hours, or whatever it takes at a time, because these edits can take a lot longer than that. And what I mean by that is, if you guys have seen this little section of footage, you know, you've seen it 3 times. I'm gonna make you watch it again, because we're gonna see how it flows into the next section. So if we just skip ahead everything we've seen already and we just start here, you know, we haven't seen this yet, but we don't know how the rest of this flows into that. So we may have seen this section 20 times, but we're gonna watch it again before it transitions into the next section that we created.
Raid to the Hero 6. Yeah? What do you think?
It's good. Now, I want to stop and tell you right now, real quick, I want to talk about flight footage, and I want to help you guys. I want to help you guys a little bit with your flight footage. I'm going to talk about it just for a second, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it later. Flight footage is better. It is so best consumed in little bite-sized pieces. You know, here, let me use an analogy. Okay, you guys can use this analogy if you like. Here's some beef jerky. I'm dead serious about this, guys. Here's some beef jerky. Okay, beef jerky is great. You know what's not great? It's like a piece of beef jerky, like the size of a person, because, you know, you physically don't have the ability to cut it up, so you can't take little bits and pieces off of it. You have to sit and you have to eat that whole piece of beef jerky the size of a person. Beef jerky is fucking great. Everybody loves beef jerky, but no one wants to sit and eat a 6-foot piece of beef jerky. They want this much beef jerky. It's still good, but it was so good like that, and if I want some more, I just have a little piece of it. You don't have to show I'm dying now. You don't have to show all of your FPV footage. It may all be great. It may all be awesome. You may have like a good 1-pack rip, and to me that's an exception. But it's very rare if you do have a 1-pack rip. But if you're making an edit, and if there is any talking in this edit at all, your FPV footage should not drag on more than a few seconds. And that's just the case. And you may be able to talk to the camera a little bit, show some FPV footage, and then talk to the camera and be like, all right guys, I'm gonna go rip this pack. I'll see you back in a couple minutes, enjoy. And then, you know, you could actually show them a couple minutes worth of FPV footage, but that shit drags on. You may enjoy it, sit in front of the editor and enjoy it, but people have seen it. They've seen the FPV footage, they fly themselves. They may enjoy watching you do the tricks and flips and stuff, but it can only go so far. So pick the flips and the tricks and stuff that you're proud of, and make the sacrifice to make the cuts. Come in here and make the cuts. And there's going to be a thing that I'm going to talk about here in a little bit is pacing, timing, and sacrificing your footage, because you have to do it to make good consumable content. So I'm going to play this and we're going to go into the next section.
Buy or upgrade to the Hero 6. Yeah? What do you think? Today's just getting started because this is part 2. 2 parts. See?
You in 2 separate videos?
Yes.
He's trying to milk the views.
Yeah.
Don't let him milk your views.
This is hilarious. So I had to put it back.
Today I'm going to explode my GoPro on purpose. Don't tell Best Buy. I'm exploding this so that I can buy the new Hero 6 right here. It's so much better. Oh.
There you go. I'm helping. That's the point of the video, right?
We go there when it's raining a lot.
So let me show you right here between this transition real quick. Between him dropping my GoPro, and us outside in the building walking down the road. Yes, quick musical doodles 2 feet. That's a good one. That's the song I'm using. J Edits, I did see you, but I'm not gonna be able to answer everybody. Can I get those clips to edit, please? I'll think about it. I'll have to like upload them to like Dropbox or something. But so let me show you this transition here between us inside the restaurant and us outside the restaurant. Me personally, when I edited this before, I had about 10 seconds of footage of us getting up from the table, walking out of the restaurant, saying a couple words, and then this clip here of us standing right here. And this is a good example of watching this transition a few times. I watched it so many times between us talking and then the stuff that I told you a second ago of us getting up, walking, and doing everything. That was in here. I watched it so many times. By the time I watched it the last time, I was like, you know what? It's irrelevant information. They know that we got up from the table, they know we walked out of the restaurant, they know we're walking down the street. So I decided to just cut it.
That's the point of the video, right?
We go there when it's raining.
Now you're gonna get a little bit of lag just because my computer's
Video, right?
We go there when it's raining a lot. Fly under there.
Really?
Oh,
Wait, so you can like
right.
Maddie stunts under it? Like,
Oh,
how
yeah, dude.
So right now they're talking and you don't know what we're talking about, but you're about to find out. So that's only because I didn't shoot enough footage before, but storytelling works that way sometimes. Sometimes you hear about what's going on. So you know, right now you know he said something about Maddie's stunts, he said something about we're gonna be able to fly under it. You're like, what's going on? And you've seen us flying under little clips of us flying under the bridge before. I like to tell stories. The storytelling aspect that I like to do is a little bit of precursor. I like to give you little clips of things we're going to do, what's going to happen, and you'll find out more about it later. So that is, right, a good example right now. I didn't give you an example visually of it because I did it already, but I cut out a lot of footage between this clip and this clip, and I sacrificed it because I liked it. I liked it, and I liked showing us getting up and walking out. It was really good B-roll sequence. It was really cool, but I sacrificed it for you guys because you would have gotten bored for that 10-15 seconds it took to do that. That's why I did it.
We go there when it's raining a lot. Fly under there.
Really?
Oh,
Wait, so you can
that's
like
right.
Maddie stunts under it? Like, how
Yeah, dude. It's like
All right, I'm moving
30, 40 feet high.
All right, I'm moving here. I'm moving.
Dude, I'm
You heard it?
telling
You heard it here first on Icky Vlogs. Drib is moving to New Orleans.
Yeah, so Drip's moving to New Orleans. You heard it here first on Icky Vlogs. Let me replay that for you.
You can like
right.
Maddie stunts under it? Like, how
Yeah, dude. It's like
All right, I'm moving
30, 40 feet high.
All right, I'm moving here. I'm moving.
Dude, I'm
You heard it?
telling
You heard it here first on Icky Vlogs. Drib is moving to New Orleans.
Look at that, the guy put his Snapchat up on the post.
Nice. Hit this
Okay.
guy up on Snapchat.
Check this out.
This guy right here is a really cool guy. Hit him up on Snapchat. I don't know who that guy is.
That is a good example, and I left this in here for a reason. That is a great example of something that I'm probably going to cut out. So it went from Drip's moving to New Orleans to this guy on Snapchat. For us, on the street, while we were there in the moment as friends, as buddies, it was funny that there's this guy, you know, left a sticker on a pole for his Snapchat. So I recorded it. I still thought it was funny when I sat down and edited it, and I still think my reaction is funny when I go like this.
Nice. Hit this guy up on Snapchat. This Snapchat. I don't know who that guy is.
It's funny to me. It'll be funny to some people. Useless information, completely useless. It doesn't add to the ambiance of us walking down the street. It does a little bit, but to me, if I want to get the video, keep the video going, we've already been walking for about 30 to 40. We've been walking about 20 to 30 seconds now, and that's too long for anybody to stay interested in us walking down the street before we go do something else. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to find it.
Here first on Icky Vlogs. Drib is moving to New Orleans.
Drip's moving to New Orleans. That's the clip there. I'll move forwards. Now I may do this. Let's try this real quick. I'm gonna select these two, right click. It won't let me delete ripple, and that's probably because I have a couple clips up here. Like this is up there. So what I'll end up doing, I'm lazy, but it's like a bad kind of lazy. So I'll just select these two. I'll clear them, and then I'll drag and like come and select all of these things. I'll make sure that I got all of it. Let me zoom out real quick. Make sure I got everything. It looks like I'm going to have issues because these adjustment layers right here, looks like they're timed perfectly for these clips down here. And that's okay, I'm going to have to redo that. So let me move this forwards. Let's play that again, and now we're going to play it and see how it makes us feel.
It's like
All right, I'm moving
30, 40 feet high.
All right, I'm moving here. I'm moving.
Dude, I'm
You heard it?
telling
You heard it here first on Icky Vlogs. Drib is moving to New Orleans.
I don't know who that guy is.
So the reason I left in, I don't know who that guy is, because that was pertaining to the Snapchat conversation we just had, but I think it's still kind of funny if somebody's watching and we're talking about Dribs moving to New Orleans and I just kind of look at the camera and go, I don't know who that guy is. I completely changed the whole reason that I was talking to the camera and the whole reason I said that in the first place. Now you think I'm talking about Drib and now you think it's a joke. Well, now it is, because I'm the editor. I can do what I want, and you see that a lot in movies and a lot in TV shows, whereas they'll take shots that are completely out of context and they'll put them in context. That's your power. That's what you have the power to do. And I do that a lot in my stuff. I do a lot of tricks and stuff like that. Why don't you just edit the clips before adding the adjustment layers? I do. I do edit the clips before I add the adjustment layers. The reason these adjustment layers are up here is for the cropping of the cinema bars on top, for them to come in and out when I'm doing certain B-roll sequences. So I edited all of these clips before, and then I went through and I added the cinema bars right here. You'll see them. They were timed, and that's why I did it. So usually what I'll do is I'll go through and edit all of the footage, the whole video, all 5 or 6 minutes of it, and then go through and do it. Yes, that's usually what I would do, but the reason I did this is because I wanted to have something to show you guys. A little bit of, I just wanted to have something to show you guys about what I do and why I do it. So let's look at this again and see if this is still relevant. Let's see how it makes us feel a couple times. We may just completely get rid of that section where I said I don't know who that guy is. We're going to find out.
You heard it here first on Icky Vlogs. Drib is moving to New Orleans.
I don't know who that guy is.
I like it. I don't know. And I may finish this video all the way down to the end, and then I'm going to rewatch it a few times, and then I may finally be like, nah, I don't like it, and I'll take it out.
I don't know what he's singing, but it's good stuff.
Just Casey and I sound music.
I can see the shots already. Like.
Okay, so that is this is the song that he was singing up here. That's the joke that he was making. Everybody uses this song, so I went ahead and used it, but I only used it for a very short period of time because it is an annoying song that people use all the time. So right now my adjustment layers don't line up, so I'm going to have to do that. You can see the bottom of this clip. Now I'll tell you guys real quick why I use cinema bars. Not everyone can use cinema bars. It's not for everybody, and I think they're right here. All right, so here's my cinema bars. I'm going to drag them up and over because I don't want to mess this up right now until I know exactly what I want to do. I think that these cinema bars right here line up with the music. Now the reason I use cinema bars a lot, one, it makes it look cinematic, but two, it gives you more control over the clips that you shot, be it GoPro footage or B-roll footage. If you shot footage with your GoPro, take this for instance, and you're flying with your GoPro, and you're flying, and maybe you're flying low to the ground, and you're doing some cool tricks, and you're like, that's interesting, but what if it looked like I was closer to the ground or going a little bit faster? Well, what you can do by doing that is pretend this bicycle is GoPro footage. Since I have my cinema bars up here, I can take this and I can move this footage up and down. There's still content in there that you can't see. So if this is the ground down here from the GoPro footage, I can move this up and make the ground look closer to you, and that's what you see more of than the sky or anything up here. And I use that trick a lot. Some people do as well. So right now, the reason that I also do it, not necessarily just GoPro footage, I tend to not, but it's possible. That's why it's something you can do with that. But the reason I do it is, one, it makes stuff look more cinematic, and two, you can line your shots up perfectly. I'm an artist and I follow the rule of thirds. Anybody that studies photography, drawing, anything, they're going to understand what's going on. So if I shot this person with their bike on the side, walking down the road, it was really creepy. I was like 100% creeper status, but I didn't want, I still wanted that clip, but I didn't want them to see me shooting them with the camera. So I just did it real fast. I didn't really get a good frame in there. The rule of thirds wasn't in place, so I can come back after the fact. I can move it around up and down until it feels good. Like this right here, that's okay, but I kind of want to see more of this lower tire. So I move it up a little bit. I see that that's as much as I got, so I got to bring it down all the way to the bottom right there. I know this number is going to be 408, and we're going to watch it from there and see how that looks.
This one's stuck.
I like that. that's better. I like that. So that looks a lot better than if we come up here and we turn this off, and we come down here and we put this back down to whatever. This looks like just an amateur shot, and it is. But the color is not there, so the color grade isn't there, and the cinema bar is not there. The rule of thirds is not in play. And if we watch it again, it's interesting because it's a slow-mo shot. The transition is still good, but it could be much better. So that's why I use this, turn this on. The color changes immediately, very slightly, but you can see in the shadows, they get a little bit brighter. The color changes a little bit. It's more visually pleasing. So we're going to change that, go back to our clip, put this to 408. My numlock keys, I don't know why my numlock key always gets off. So boom, I like that. And I may come back later after I watch it and find that I like a different orientation for this clip, and I will change it. One thing that I will show you guys is, I'm going to take a break real quick. I'm going to read the comments, and then I will talk about shooting your video. Shoot to edit. Don't edit the shoot. Okay, that's something that I just came up with on my own. It's not like a groundbreaking. Don't like put quotes and like post it everywhere and put my name on it. But that's how I feel. So, and what that means is, I'm going to read the comments and then I'm going to talk about that. Yeah, so nobody really said anything, but she understood what I said. So thanks for hanging out, guys. If you're still here, sorry. I really wanted this to be a little bit more entertaining, and I'm going to get a little bit better at it. But there is just so much information to talk about, and if you guys don't give me questions or give me the ammo that I need to give you the answers and the content, I'm just going to ramble on about certain things that I think is important. So please give me some questions or anything if you do have anything. And I will definitely take the time to answer that. But what I want to talk about right now is shooting. So if you're shooting B-roll, if you're shooting a vlog, if you're shooting anything, shoot to edit. And what that means is right here. So when I'm right here with my finger, it's pointing this way. Okay, this is very important. I will talk about camera for a minute. This is very important. This is very, very important. This is key in all of my edits. It's motion, and motion makes you feel emotion, and it helps the mind set the mind at ease by what they're seeing. If anything's moving in different directions, it's very jarring. Not necessarily the flight footage, because that's a whole other animal. So this is how detailed I get in my edits. If my finger is moving this way, poking Drew in the face, as my finger is moving in that direction, the next clip will be moving in that direction until I find a clip that I think is a static shot, a zoom in or out, or a twist. So what that means is, if the next clip of the bicycle is moving this way, I won't make another clip immediately moving this way. So it's not going to go, nobody wants to see that. So, but you can't always have clips coming in the same direction all the time. So what you'll have is, you'll have one moving this way, another moving this way, and maybe the next one will go and twist into a zoom out, or a static shot. So watch this real quick. So just as, and now what I'll probably end up changing is right here, my finger pulls out and the camera's moving left. So my finger's going right and the camera's moving left. I'm actually going to change that because all I did was I took this clip and I threw it down here so that I can move it around and I can kind of stretch it out a little bit and I can fix it. So if you look here, that's going to transition into this, but I want to make sure that my color stays on there. So let's go down here real quick and let's look at my finger poking Drew in the face. So I want to move this. Let's see what it looks like. Poking Drew in the face. Boom. Right as I hit him, boom, the beat drops a little bit and the camera moves behind somebody, which is that's a big thing too, is you want to make transitions, but you don't know how to make them in Premiere Pro. You don't want to download them. Use your camera. So you take your camera and you move it behind things, you twist it, you turn it, that's your transition. So I moved it behind somebody on purpose. So let's watch this clip after I've changed the motion of it a little bit. Yep, so my finger pokes him on the nose as soon as the beat drops, and my finger's moving in the same direction as the next clip. Now, when you watch it, it feels like Drew is a button and I'm pressing him as a button, that cues the camera to move into the next transition. Watch that again and see if you get that feeling.
This one still has a...
Real small things like that, and I love it because it makes the person feel something, but they don't have to think about what they saw. They're just going to be like jarred for a second, like, whoa, wow, it's cool, and then they're just going to kind of move on. But it's not so much that they have to like stop and think about it. It's just it kind of came in and then it went on, and they can enjoy the rest of the story. I am going to explain the rule of thirds. I will do that. I want to talk about the cameras for a minute. G7 is a good intro cam, especially if that's what's in your budget right now. I will say this, if you're interested in getting a camera or anything like that, let me come up to here. This is supposed to be a GIF. Why isn't it? Let's turn this off. I think that was looping and that's not. I want to find something that's like interesting to look at. Whatever, let's go now. That's what orders. So if you're looking into getting a camera, you're looking to do some B-roll, you're looking into making vlogs, videos, anything like that, and you have the money to spend on it, don't go broke on getting a camera, because a camera won't make you better. A camera can inspire you to get out and make better shots. It can get better shots, but you still have to do it. What I recommend is, and this is advice that I did not follow. I did have a camera and it was kind of shitty, and I did do the best I could with it. I did. But I never used a cell phone. I never used a GoPro because I was a snob. And I didn't have the right to be. But so what that means is, if you take your cell phone, you can do the same shit I'm doing. You can take your cell phone and you can hold it and you can, you know, make a transition of you following something, and then think about your shots while you're out there shooting. Make a transition of you following a quad or following somebody, and then check this out. Take your cell phone and then go somewhere else. And then if you want to be like, shoot a little Icky B-roll sequence, right? Go next to a tree, okay? Take your quad, set it down kind of like a little bit further behind the tree. So let's say we've got our tree here, okay? And we got our cameras back here. We're going to set our quad kind of a little bit over here out of the tree, and we got some grass. Take your camera, or take your cell phone, and you kind of want to kind of like move out from behind the tree to look at the drone, kind of like with the grass in the foreground. Okay, I've never done this shot before, but I actually kind of like it now, so I'm going to shoot it. And what that is you had a shot of you moving the camera, looking at something. It could be a person, could be the drone flying, and you're looking at it. You're moving the camera in that direction. Take your drone, stick it behind an object or something like that, but not completely behind it, just behind it, and then a little bit to the left. And then take your camera, move it out from in front of that object to where you can just see the drone. Boom, you're going to clip it away. So what that's going to do is, you can actually, I would probably put that in the clip before showing the drone flying or something like that. Just because you're telling a story. So you're like, boom, here's my drone. It's outside. There's trees. I care about you as a viewer, so I'm showing you something that I think is cinematic, but only for a little bit. This is what they're feeling when they're watching it. And then, boom, you're going to clip to, you know, you showing the drone flying, so you're still telling the story. Boom, you clip to some footage of it flying, maybe next to a tree or doing a tree trick or anything like that. No longer than a few seconds. You don't want to have a 2-minute section of that before you transition into something else. People's attention spans are just not what they used to be. You'll get nice comments on your videos saying that they enjoyed it. People are going to enjoy your stuff. People are going to sit through it and they will watch the whole thing and they will enjoy it. But they will enjoy it more, and more people will enjoy it if you take the time and the care to give people, give the masses, give people what they want, even though they don't know that they want it. That's what editors do. That's what I do. I edit for you and I give you what you want, but you don't know that you want it. You don't know that that's what you want. It makes you feel good and you enjoy watching it. So let's see. The 85. I don't know much about the 85. I didn't use. Okay, the only camera I used was an old Nikon, and it was really shitty. And I did as much research as I could, and I made the sacrifice to get the best camera that I could for the money, which was the GH5. And that's because I wanted the slow-mo, because slow-mo is a very cheap cop-out way to take smooth B-roll, and it looks really good. And I try not to overuse it, but what I can say is, without telling you too much about, without saying too much about specific cameras like the G7 or anything like that, what I can say is, whatever camera you're looking at getting, make sure it shoots 1080p in at least 60 frames per second. Now, you're going to want to shoot in 24 frames per second, 99% of the time. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But if you want to shoot 60 frames per second, you take a little bit of slow-mo with it, and just make sure that it takes decent lenses. Get something that, if it's a micro four thirds, you're going to be hard pressed to get some lenses, but they're going to be a little bit cheaper. Unless you want, some high quality stuff, you're going to have to use adapters. Just research what it's going to take to get that camera to do what it needs to do. And maybe that's, getting a camera and making sure it has a flip out screen, because that's why I had to upgrade to the GH5. There's cheaper cameras I could have got, but the GH5 has a flip out screen, and without that, I couldn't vlog. It's impossible. It's not possible, but it's just impractical. And it has a plug-in microphone, things like that. It has removable lenses. So for me, this is a big deal, and for you, it should be too if you're going to be serious about creating videos, because a camera that doesn't have a removable lens will never grow with you. This camera can grow with me, and it can change depending on the environments and the things that I need it to do, because I can interchange the lenses. That doesn't necessarily make a camera more expensive, except until you start looking at actually getting lenses, and they can be quite expensive, but there are cheaper options. If you want a variable lens, something that zooms, to me that was valuable, because I didn't know what I was going to be shooting with my camera, and I don't want to spend $100 to $200 on a lens of a certain size that doesn't zoom, and then come to find out, shit, I really wish, or man, it's a little bit too much zoomed in, so I look like this in my vlogs all the time. I really wish I looked like this, and I can't do anything because my arms won't move far enough. That's why I got this lens. But now that I have it, I know that I can get like a 25 millimeter or like a 15 millimeter or something like that. That'll be a decent wide angle that I can use, and then also I can buy like a 50 millimeter lens. These are called prime lenses, where they are set and they don't have a variable zoom, but they're going to be a shit ton cheaper than getting a variable zoom lens, generally, not all the time. So don't get too caught up on a whole lot of slow-mo stuff. If that's what you're into, you're going to spend the money. And because if you're into the slow-mo and you're into all this stuff and you want a flip-out screen, there are not very many options on the market. 60 frame per second slow-mo is plenty. If you want to shoot some awesome videos and get some slow-mo, break your Session 5 and upgrade to the Hero 6. Use your Hero 6. That does 260 frames per second. That's like twice as slow as this camera, and it's going to be some juicy shit. Seriously. So don't worry too much about that. Get you a cheap camera that can use that has a manual focus option. I recommend, if you have the money, to get in any kind of Canon that has a very, very, very good autofocus. Canons have amazing autofocus. This one, not so much. So let's look up here. Everybody pretty much just listening, not saying anything. In the market for a decent high frame rate camera suggestion. So this one is great, but there are awesome other high frame rate cameras on the market. But like I said, 9 out of 10 of them probably don't have a flip out screen, which is a big deal for me. I don't really know all the rest of them off the top of my head. I know Sony has a pretty good one for cheaper than this, and some of Canons do as well, but I think those are going to be a lot more expensive. Possible for Premiere Pro to edit to slow-mo. So let me show you a little bit of slow-mo editing in Premiere Pro, if that's what you're asking about. Actually, I forget. Let's kill this, and I can only have the webcam working on one window at once, which is weird. So let me show you some slow-mo. Actually, I'll go to this one. Okay. For some reason, can't see my cursor. There it is. So let's find a slow-mo clip. There it is. So here's one of drip walking, and it's actually a little bit overexposed. You can't see it right now. Don't worry about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press Alt and then scroll up, and it's going to raise this. Right now you can already see, if I right-click right here, time remapping speed, it's already clicked. So this clip right here was shot in 180 frames per second. So it'll never be the same. It will never be a regular speed video. Even if I take this right here, this line, and I speed it all the way up to 1,000, which right here, this is 1,000% of 13% speed video. So, okay, I'm not going to get into that. But it's 180 frames per second out of 24 frames per second. And I'll show you a little bit about the math of slow-mo here in a second, but I'm not going to get too deep into it. But if you watch, the beginning of this clip is fast, and then it goes slow down at a slope right here to regular slow-mo speed, which is 13% of the original speed. So let's watch it. Very cool. It speeds up real quick because this is a fast clip. This one right here, I keep pointing up here, you can't see anything. This is a fast clip. This is a fast clip, and then it goes into slow-mo. I don't like to go straight from fast into slow-mo. I like to transition. It's very, very much more pleasing to the eye. And it makes the slow motion that you're seeing, I'm sorry, you're not seeing it. Let me go back. Let me make this a little bit bigger. There you go. Let me show you what's going on. Yeah, I was talking about it and I was trying to show you the timeline. I wish you could see this a little bit better and the screen at the same time, but I'm doing the best I can. So, now, this was fast right here, about 1,000%, all the way. I drug it all the way up, and then it goes down to slow. So this makes this slow motion portion very, very much more, it makes it much more cool looking than if it just transitioned straight from this to slow. Because it's like, yeah, it's slow motion, but it takes it and it changes, it alters reality in front of you, and it's just like super deep. But seriously, it messes with your mind. So it's like you understand. It puts you there in that. Okay. And I try to edit off a feeling a lot, which is why people like to enjoy my stuff. So it gives you the feeling that you're there. You can see the people walking, and see the bicycles. You can see the cars moving. You can see this red car coming at you, and then, woof, time slows down, and it's a lot more impressive. And then it speeds up right at the last second. That car keeps coming. The bicycles go. Watch. Now, I don't always do it, and here's an example. So, right here, I transitioned, and it's fast. It transitions into the next clip, which is also a slow motion clip. It's sped up all the way to about 540, because even if this is 1,000 and then this is 540%, they're lined up about the same, and that's only visually, not necessarily technically, because this clip is moving a lot slower. The camera's not moving as fast, so I don't need to speed it up because it's not going to do anything else for the viewer. But so it's fast into fast, not fast into slow, and then down into slow. So this is cool, boom. But right here, this is a slow motion clip, and it goes straight into another clip of slow motion. But they're both static shots. So that means that the camera's not moving. And the objects and the subjects in the camera in the frame aren't moving either. At least horizontally throughout the frame. So if I speed anything up, it's going to move away from you, and it's not necessarily, anything sped up moving away from you doesn't look good. So that's why right here I didn't speed up the clips. They sit right next to each other, and they just, but I also did it right on the horn, if you can hear that. Check this out. This, if you zoom in right here, and guys, I'm telling you, you know, you may be trying to pick up some tips and stuff, but if I get really meticulous, like I come down here and I scroll into the audio and I can see where the horn changed, but not right here at the beginning of the horn. It's actually right here, kind of at the da-na-na-na, and it's like at the da-na-da, and I want the clip to change as the horn is playing to make you feel something, not when the horn starts. So I'll watch. And it's so subtle. And so I actually used the audio to transition you into the next clip. And what I mean by that is this horn started playing just a second, just a hair before the next clip started. And it got your mind ready for a change before it happened. So that's something that I do a lot to help your mind get ready for a change or for a transition before it happens, so it's not like right in your face.
This one still has a broken arm.
So this right here is a transition that I'm not super duper happy about. I'm not super proud about. I wanted to use this little audio clip because if you don't remember, just a few minutes ago we were talking about making fun of this song. So that's why I played it. So this whole section was just a joke. It was a little bit of B-roll, and I do like to use a little bit of B-roll to transition into more talking later on. We did some B-roll, and here's what's neat. You have B-roll of us walking down the street, right? You can see that we're in cars, we're laughing, we're having a good time, okay? And then we come over to here, boom. Now we're there. So it didn't take much, but it told the story in literally like 3 seconds. I showed you, 6 different clips, and it told a story in your mind where you're ready for the next part of the story. Even though I didn't have to tell you anything, you didn't have to understand the story. You just get the feeling that we had a good time for a few minutes. We went somewhere, and now we're there. So I'm still not super proud about it because I don't like the way that this transition just kind of. Just like
this one still has a broken arm.
Here's a bicycle, and then here's
this one
quads in the back of the truck or trunk. So that's not something that I really like. Control S, by the way, save. I save and I save and I save and I save over and over. So this transition right here may change, but right now I'm happy with it because I need to move the edit forwards, and I'll get stuck editing B-roll or trying to draw out that song. And because you can just edit B-roll all day, I could just draw out that song. I can pull it right here. I can take this. I'll take this freaking song and I'll pull it out. It won't let me. It knows I can draw it out, and I'll just edit B-roll all day. And it's fun. I enjoy it, and you guys like watching it. But we need to move the story on, so you have to cut it. You just have to do it. You have to make the sacrifice to cut those clips out. And that kind of draws on what I said before. I really like the way this bicycle looks. Like rolling down the street. I actually got a lot more footage of this bicycle, but I have to pick. Because right here the camera's moving. I don't like this footage of the bicycle. I actually like
this one had PSC.
This footage of the bicycle. Now don't mind this clip at the bottom. It's because there's some other stuff.
And then
I like
this
clip of the
one,
bicycle, but I don't use it because I needed this transition. Boom, right there. So I made the sacrifice to cut out the rest of that footage, and you'll never see it. So you have to be okay with that when you start editing your videos. You can't show the audience all of the stuff that you shot. You may be proud of it. You may be proud of your flight footage. You may be proud of your B-roll. You may be proud of something hilarious that happened out at the field. But only so many hilarious things can happen in a vlog. People get exhausted. So you need to stay on topic. You need to stay on track. Try not to veer off too much. Just like earlier when I was editing and I cut out the whole point where Drew looks at the pole and he goes, "Oh, that guy has a sticker of his Snapchat." I zoomed in on it, laughed at it, and be like, "Check this guy's Snapchat out." It was funny, but it just wasn't relevant. And there's been enough funny moments in the vlog already of you just, we're only 2 minutes into the video and I've already given you so much information. For me to make the video slow down, talk to you and tell you something that just takes your mind out of what's already going on, it's just unnecessary. And you may have really loved that point in time when you were there and you were shooting it and it was really funny, but you don't always have to tell those stories. And you can always tell it again in another video, which is why I made the montage I made 2 separate videos, and that was all clips and B-roll and talking and stuff that wasn't in the first one that I still liked and wanted to use. So that's something that I'll probably end up doing in the future because I didn't want that footage to just sit there and die. I had to use it because I would have felt bad. So that's what I ended up doing, and I really liked. I really liked. I want to show you guys that clip because I really liked that transition, and I grow. I get so much better every time I edit. So I'm gonna save this. I want to show you guys this clip because I'm like super duper proud of it, like ridiculous. And it was kind of a growing point for me when I watched it. And because I edited it and when I cut it together and when I watched it, I had this like wow moment, like this aha, holy shit. I want to show you guys. Let's see, let me find it. How you guys doing? You guys still around? You guys hanging out? You guys want me to talk about anything else? Give me some. I like most of my live streams I've done in the past, I do like to communicate with my audience. I do like to talk to you guys, but I am trying to keep this as on track and on topic and as interesting, keep it moving as much as possible. So I really am trying to do that for you guys. That's why I'm trying to not paying as much attention to you. But here is something that I was talking about earlier. So you see a lot of pilots. I'm not sure who did this first, but you see a lot of pilots. They'll take their footage and they'll do like a roll or a yaw spin, yeah, it'll be a roll. So like you pitch forwards and when you roll, it kind of makes the quad do a trippy little spin, and they'll do another one later on, and they'll clip those two together, cut it right in the middle, and you don't even realize. Sometimes you don't even realize that it was two different clips and it looks like the same trick. What I decided to do with this is, since I like to integrate B-roll into my footage, I actually took this clip right here, right while I'm rotating, right here. It only happens for a couple seconds. So I'm rotating the quad to the right, and then this clip right here is me rotating the camera, rotating myself to the right. This transition, like, it transitioned me into the next step of editing for me, because it opened my mind to more possibilities. It is just so, I'm like getting goosebumps right now, and that's how pumped I get about editing. But just think about this for a second. I come up here, I'm coming up, the music's building up, right? You're feeling it. I scrape the side of the building, which is epic. Check it out. Boom. And then as soon as you think it's going back up, you think the quad's going back up, it transitions to a clip of you looking up into this structure, and you're thinking, you're like, what is it? Like, what's going on here? It's slow motion, so it gives you enough time to really soak it in. You've got a person looking at you, showing you what it is, they're pointing at it, which is really personal. People love to see faces and things like that. So this transition to me is just fire, dude. I freaking love it. I'm really proud of it. Now, here's another one that is really cool, because this has to do with coverage, and I'm gonna get to your question in a second, Copper Top. This has to do with coverage and shooting to edit, because what I mean by that is, when you shoot your video, you take your camera, and if you just sit there and shoot something, and you're done, you turn it off and you set it down, you have to edit that. What are you going to do with a shot that just sat there? So yeah, you twisted the camera, and then you turn it off and you set it down. Now you have to have a transition where it's twisting again, or something has to happen to get the viewer out of that twist. So what I ended up doing was, I was showing you something, I'm twisting the camera, and then I wanted to show you something else, so the camera followed my finger down. Well, what's cool is, what I was able to do with this transition is, since the camera is following the finger down, wherever that camera is going to go point, as soon as that camera starts to point in that direction, you see this a lot in different movies and stuff, you can cut the frame and put in another clip of you looking at something, and it makes your brain feel like that camera, when it moved to show in that direction, it makes you feel like that camera is showing you the next clip. I hope that makes sense, but watch this. Now, what I'm going to do right here is something that I should have done before I exported this video, but I'll show you in a second. So I'm pointing, boom, I point over there, and you're looking at something that I pointed at. Makes you feel something, right? Especially since you just came out of this transition that twisted, the music is making you feel. Now, one thing that I am I'm not very upset, I'm kind of upset about it, is this clip right here, and I'm going to tell you that in a second after I answer a couple questions. Do you know what and how you're going to shoot before you leave to go shoot, or did you just wing it? That is a very, very good question, and that is exactly one of the topics I wanted to talk about in this video, and I will. It's pretty creative. Yeah, thank you, man. And this is why your edits are the shit. Thanks, so much love and dedication. Yes, man, I do it for you guys, and that's the thing. That's why my stuff is so pleasing to the eye, because I edit for you. I edit to make the viewing experience as easy as possible for you guys. So check. I want to flip this clip. I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to explain. And while doing that, I'm going to answer Copper Top Dave's question, because they're intertwined. So this clip right here, if you look, the camera's moving to the right, okay, and and I'm pointing to the right. Now you may have enjoyed this video and you may have enjoyed this clip, but something about it is a little bit off-putting and you can't put your finger on it, right? Check this out. It kind of took you out of the experience, didn't it? It served its purpose, so I'm pointing to a direction, I'm showing you something that I pointed at, but it kind of took you out of the magic, right? Let's watch it again. And I immediately put you right back in it with the boom, 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 boom beats on the music, but there's still something there, and there's a reason I'm going to show you. Let me zoom in. So this clip is moving to the right, I'm pointing to the right. This clip is moving to the left, and I didn't catch it. So when you plan your shots accordingly, you can't always remember what you were doing and what direction the camera was moving when you shot it. And you can't plan everything, Dave. Like when I went to go shoot this, all this footage, all this B-roll, I didn't plan this shit. I knew that it was going to be cool, and I knew that I wanted to shoot stuff. But once you get out there, you're going to forget. Everything I told you today, you're going to forget it. And everything that I've learned, I forget it. When I go out to shoot, I forget all of it. And I just shoot what I think feels good. But I like to try, you gotta take a second, take a step back, remember that you want to move your camera behind objects, you want to move your camera in dynamic positions, slowly, smoothly, you want to move them in the same direction, but not always. Sometimes you want to move it in this direction and then kind of come out of it. And then in the next clip, you can take your camera and come into it, and then move in a different direction. So you use your camera for those things, but you don't really, I can't plan everything. So this clip right here is a really good example of why editors exist and what editors should be doing. So what I should have done is, this clip, I'm pointing to the right, the camera's moving to the right. This clip, all I had to do was go to effects. My computer is slow. Don't think that my computer is amazing. It's not. Let's go flip. And we're going to flip horizontally. We're going to drag that onto this clip. Now it's moving to the right. And that's as easy as pie. So watch this transition now. We're going to watch it a couple more times because I know it's fast, but I want to see what you guys think and how it makes you feel. It should be a little less jarring, and it shouldn't take you out of the experience. And I will change a couple things to make that happen. Let's watch it. Okay, so the camera moves, but the camera is moving to the right, and the camera is moving down. So I did transition to where this clip is moving to the right, but it's moving up, and I don't like it. So what I may end up doing is, let's take this clip, okay? Let's drag it out further and see what it looks like over here. That's overexposed. Moving to the right. Let's drag it out further and see what it looks like over here. We're still moving up. I'm going to zoom out. I want to drag this clip out and see what else I shot. Okay. Okay, that's looking better. It's not moving up as much. So let's go start it here. Alright. Delete this. Drag this over so that we have a little bit more room to work with. Let's drag it out even further and see what else I shot. Ooh, I like that. Okay, so I kind of like that. I'm pointing at something. This shot gives a lot more depth than the last shot. It's the same shot, but it's a different position of the camera. This shot gives a lot more depth because you got a foreground here, and you have a mid-ground right here, and you have a background back here. That is fire. That is good shit right there. That's what you want to shoot when you're on the set, but you don't always remember. So you have a lot of coverage. You shoot everything as much as possible, and you just grind your teeth and you edit it when it comes time. So this video is already out. I already exported this video, but I was in a hurry and I didn't catch this. So this is something that I'd be more. So I'm liking that it's going behind this clip. Before I actually choose what to do with it, I'm going to drag it out a little bit more and see where it goes. liking that this clip is going somewhere. Oh, that's the end of it. So from right here, let's see. And I can't use very much of this. I have this whole clip and I gotta stick it into this little hole right here. So now I gotta pick a part of it that I like. And I think I'm liking this foreground right here. I mean the midground, the foreground, and the background. So I'm thinking I'm liking that. So I'm gonna cut it and put it over here. I don't put it in because it's hanging over a little bit. I'll cut it and then I will put it in. Usually I don't. I'll leave it up and my edits look sloppy as hell, like there's shit all over the place. So let's watch that and see if that feels better. And then I'm going to read the comments. Yes, yes. Okay, it's not perfect, but damn, that is much better. Yes, okay, that feels way much better. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I'm excited about that, because you know, I'm not going to export this video. I already did, but I learned something today by doing it. So I learned that I need to pay more attention to the directions that the shots are moving, not necessarily just horizontal, but also vertical and zooming and back and forth. One other thing that I'm going to change with this clip is, check this out. It's a little bright right here, and both of these clips, this one and this one, are a little bit darker. It's not too bad because there's bright spots here and here, and there's bright spots here. But I think what I'm going to do to this clip is go into it, go to my color. I'm not going to lower the exposure because you lose detail, but I'm going to actually go and take my highlights. Now let me do this a lot and you'll see the difference. I'll bring them way down. Wait, why is it doing that? Don't do that. Do this one. There we go. See the difference? So I'm going to bring my highlights and my whites all the way down so you can tell the difference. I'm not going to keep it that way. So let's take the highlights down just a hair. -22, take my whites. If I bring my whites down, it brings the blacks black. Let's look at that previous clip. The blacks are black, but they're not super black. I think that's a little bit blacker than that. So this section here is still a little overexposed. We are going to play with the exposure. That's better. Okay, so look at this rock right here. You can't see the details in the stone. If I take my exposure and bring it down just a little bit to let's do -6, you can see the bumps in the rock, which is great. Let's take our highlights, bring them back up. Okay, let's put them back where they were. -31. Our blacks are in the negative because since we killed our exposure, our highlights, and we brought our whites down a little bit, if our blacks are back to normal, they're going to be a little, actually I kind of like them right there. Let's compare the blacks. I think they're a little bit dark. Let's bring them up just a hair. That looks good. I'm looking at the shadows here, here, here. I'm looking at all these, and I'm going to this clip, and I'm looking at the shadows here. I'm looking at this line here, the dark under the goggles, my eyes, all of that, and then the next clip. So this clip fits. Now it matches color-wise and brightness-wise in the two clips that it's in between. Not only does it match visually as far as movement goes, but also color and brightness. So let's watch it again. Much better. Much, much better. So let's read some comments. Pretty creative. I see so much great stuff going on in the videos. Like you said, it's different. Yeah, thanks, Double A. I probably had more useful information in just that little clip that I flipped than probably the whole other live stream that we've done up to now. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, and that was something that I wanted to touch on but that had a lot of great tips and a lot of great instructions on things that you can do to get better shots out of the stuff that you already shot. I'm really, really happy with that. Still like the hair fluffing. The hair fluffing is hilarious. That was actually because the story behind the hair fluffing is Drew let me borrow his lens, and he grabbed my camera. He was shooting with it, and I looked at him, and he had it pointing towards me. So I was doing like this shampoo commercial, like slow-mo thing. He thought it was in slow motion. It wasn't, but it's okay. It was still funny. Actually, I kind of like that it wasn't in slow motion because you can't slow-mo everything. It just gets to be too much. And I really like that that clip's not in slow motion now that I watch it. I really do. And then most of my videos up till now, thanks for hanging, Dave. For sure, man, for sure. We can do some Skype someday. We can answer some questions and stuff for sure. What do you say typically spend editing, say a 5-minute video, time-wise? Way too long. Way too long. If you count searching for a song, and if you count organizing the footage, and if you count re-watching everything you've edited over and over and over up till the point where you're still editing, I'm gonna pick a number because I've never really timed it, and I should. I knocked out the past 2 edits in 1 day each, but it took, well, okay, not the special effect, and I'm going to show you guys the special effect here in a minute for the guys that actually stayed. I would say probably 12 hours, and that's like flying through it. Like 8 to 12 hours, and that's flying through it for me. Only because I've gotten better. Like, I've gotten better at cutting clips, knowing where I want to put them, and stuff like that. And then most of that time is just spent doing exactly what I just showed you. Scrubbing back and forth between the clips, going, ooh, I don't know, like, I think it would look better if the camera was moving horizontally instead of horizontally and vertically. That's the shit that I do, and that's the reason my edits take fucking 12 hours when it could have taken 3 hours, you know? I don't have a SoundCloud or anything for music. Pretty much what I do is I'll go to YouTube. Let's do this. Because actually this might work now that I got a window share going on. So one thing I want to do is, let me look at, check these motors out, guys. I'm going to look at the info for the live stream real quick. And YouTube, let's do this. Yeah. We're going to do a giveaway. So, let's do a giveaway, and I'm going to show you guys some stuff. So now I got to figure out where all my shit is. Yep, so here's the motors you're going to win, thanks to Drone Racing Parts. So I'm like, got 1,000 things going on. Okay, where's my screen? I'm going to go through the comments, and we're going to try, let's do this. No, I'm not on the job right now. I'm a firefighter, yeah, I'm at home. Let's see, got a split, got yard to mow, got a finish for this video in the future. Yes, definitely. Yeah, hold out for this. We're going to do this right now. I'm going to pick a number, shit. I've never done random giveaways on the live stream before. Last time I did it, I just picked a random number, which I think I'm going to do as well. So we have, I think, less than 20 people in the stream right now. So what we're going to do is just keep it old school. And we're going to pick a random number. Next time I'll be actually more prepared for this. So let me... Okay. Yeah, so pick a number between 1 and 20, but only post that number once. Don't only pick one number, and then if somebody else had that number first, you got to pick another number. Let's start now. I have the number right here, so I'm not going to change it. It's right here already, and I'm not touching the phone. We're going to win these motors right here. A set of those from DroneRacingParts.com. Pick a number. Also, the closest, if nobody picked the number, it's the person that was closest to the number it's going to win. That's just a given. Phone's still here. I don't want the screen to go to sleep, so I'm like touching it every now and then, but doing the best I can. Hey, check it out, Serge just fixed my order. Check it out, guys. Thanks a lot. I ordered a couple frames, and I ordered the wrong frames, and evidently he fixed my order without charging me more, because I think the newer frames are more expensive. He's a good guy. Says I got lucky he was going over the emails at work. Thank God. Usually Saturdays we just show. Damn, I got lucky. Alright, looks like we're still getting numbers, which is good. But it looks like we already have a winner. We already got a winner. Everybody can stop punching in numbers. Serge keeps sending me text messages. Okay, so we got a winner. The winner is, it's backwards, but you can tell what number that is. Number 15. Who picked number 15? I see him right now. Let's see if he remembers. You guys were close. It was going to be between Reaper and Adam. They picked number 14 and number 16. I was going to make you two guys go back at it again since you were right around it. But what's his name? Chris picked number 15. So that is the winner. I didn't get a straight answer from the guys over at Drone Racing Parts to see whether or not you have to be in the United States. So Chris, are you in the United States? I'm going to get with them real quick and find out if that's a big deal. It may be for them, so if not, we may have to pass on that. I hope you are, and I hope that they're going to be able to do that for you, because I really, really would be sad if not. So I need to thank Serge real quick. Let's open up Facebook. You in the States, bro? New instructor at Quad Camp, Zoe. Awesome. Yes, he says yes, but I want to make sure you're in the States. Let me cancel all of these. Actually, you know what? We're just not going to go on Facebook because I might get personal messages. I was trying to answer Serge's messages. So, Chris, are you in the United States? If so, awesome. Send me your address, and I will get with DroneRacingParts.com and send you some motors. Sorry, everybody else. Awesome, California. So, that is great. Sorry, I'm like trying to. My phone is blowing up right now. Okay. Look at my desktop, guys. Where's it at? I'm gonna show you my desktop. It's fucking horrible. It's only recently because I've. It's so bad. Okay. I think I went over a bunch of cool stuff today. I didn't start editing the rest of the video. Let me show you what the rest of the video looks like. So let's go to. Let's close this. File, open project, NOLA 2.0, and I think, oh no, that's a different project. That's NOLA 1.5, open project 2.0. No problem, man. I'm happy for you, bro, for sure. I lose my timeline. It sucks, and then I gotta go like find my timeline. I didn't name it, so it's in here somewhere as well. Freaking lost. Name your timeline. Here it is. Name your timeline. Like I gotta go over here. I'm gonna be like timeline. I'm gonna name it. It's freaking here now. There it is. Timeline. Sometimes it doesn't pop up here when you. I don't know why. So cool. I'm liking where this is going. Right now this video is at 2 minutes. I still have to the rest of the footage is going to be, if I go up to assembly area, the rest of the footage is us. We're at this freaking plantation. So I broke another arm at the plantation, and spoiler alert, I never got to destroy my GoPro. Tried so hard, did. I destroyed all the wads. But yeah, so trying to find a good picture of the plantation. Badass tree right there. There's a little plantation area. I flew all up in that bitch. It was crazy. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Looks like a bunch of you guys are jetting out. I appreciate hanging out and learning some stuff. Hopefully you learned something worth your while. Hopefully it was worth your lunchtime today, this Saturday. I really, really, really appreciate you guys hanging out. And yeah, let me know if you guys want to see some more stuff like this in the future. See, here's the thing. I really want to help people make better videos, and I want people keep wanting to know like the magic behind what I'm doing. And the magic behind what I'm doing is hard work, dedication, and care, and a keen eye. But you have to care. You have to care about the viewer, and you have to care about their feelings. You have to care about their time and their the time spent watching what you're giving them. You have to respect that. And good editor does. A good editor respects every second of the viewer's time, and that's what I try to do. That's the magic behind what I do. So besides just hard work and watching a shit ton of YouTube videos and making a bunch of shitty videos, I made a bunch of crappy ones, and they're okay, but they're not as good as the recent ones. So I was wanting to make, I don't know what her deal is, I was wanting to make more videos about like editing, about real specific things, like just me flipping that clip, just about color grading, and I was going to make actual videos about it and edit them and upload them, and I just never found the time. Like it just never seemed right. So hopefully the live stream was worth it to some of you guys. Hopefully you got something from it. Hopefully it was, I guess, better than editing little short sections and making it consumable. It's probably not, but I don't know. Really appreciate it. I work tomorrow. Tomorrow's Mother's Day, so I'm gonna go spend the rest of the day with my wife and my mom. I'm gonna go do all that fun stuff, and then I have to fix a quad because I've got like 12 or 13 charged batteries and no drones to fly them. So those batteries have been charged for too long. Yeah, that sucks. I'm gonna end the stream, because I always get like weird about ending streams and how to end it. So peace out, guys. See you later. Till next time. Thanks for hanging. How do I? Oh, you know what? Hang on. Don't leave yet. Let's go to. There we go. There's the green screen. Show you. Here's my giant 47-inch monitor that I've been looking at over here. That's a TV. There's my green screen. I used thumbtacks, and I thumbtacked it to the ceiling, and then I like tucked it up under stuff over there. That's funny. And then it's like duct tape to the ground. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you later. I had fun. I had a lot of fun. I got a haircut. I needed the haircut from the last video bad. Chris, are you on Facebook, bro? Are you on my Facebook? Are you on the FPP Noob Tube? You still here? I'm still here for you, man. If you're not on Facebook, or if you can't find me on Facebook, you can send me a personal message on YouTube. That's kind of really a weird way to do it, but it's possible. You know what? If that doesn't work, email me. That's my business email. if you're not part of the FPV, oh, that's spicy. If you're not part of the FPV Noob Tube, join that. It's a community I created on Facebook, helping out beginners in the hobby. So definitely check that out. And yep, so hit me up. Let me send that out to you. It's awesome. Peace. That's not the peace sign. That's the peace sign. I'm tired.